Let me check. Let me check if all the stream is working. It doesn't look like it is yet. Okay, so we look like we are live now. Okay, so I've decided to answer questions for whoever wants to ask. And today we have somebody to ask questions. Let's see. So if you can type your questions in the chat, let's see whether it works. Yeah, it works now. So you can type on the main chat any questions that you have. So let's see if yeah, you can type on the main chat now. Oh, okay, you still can't. That's weird. I can type. Yep, it's working fine for me. I guess this thing is not working according to plan. Yeah, so can I. Anyway, okay, if you can't type there, just type your question on the chat here. I'll copy and paste it onto the main screen. So, what is the first question today? Okay, let's see if we can post this question here. Okay, so according to the Quran, would it be accurate to say that this generation began with Noah and his progeny? Nope, it is not accurate to say that. What we can say for sure is that all the people on the earth today are from Noah's progeny or from Noah. He is the father of all those who are on the earth today because every other line was cut off when the flood came. When God destroyed the earth on the request of Noah, by the way, he asked God to destroy the home of every rejecter on the earth. And God answered by flooding the whole earth and destroying everyone except Noah. So all the people on the earth are sons of Noah today, as well as sons of Adam, obviously. And so, yeah, the generation did not begin then. This generation began whenever God wanted to begin, after Muhammad sometime. Yeah, this generation um, is um, sometime after Muhammad or the last messenger who was here before me, when that was annihilated, if there was any between Muhammad and myself, that generation then began then. So I mean, it's not accurate to say this is the generation of from Noah. No, many generations have been destroyed between Noah and us. Got any other questions? So we have some. All right, let's see. I'm just copying and pasting someone who's private chatting me here because he can't apparently post to the main chat. Let's see. So the question is, according to the Quran, are the nations of Ad, Thamud, Iram, who is Iram, etc., actually the leaders of their time, just like the children of Israel are the leaders during this current time? Um, I mean, whoever was leading the earth then were the leaders. I mean, are they which nations? We don't even know where these nations actually were exactly. The Ad is obviously the Greek. The Thamud are what I believe, and I'm pretty sure, are the Buddhists and the Hindus are the remnants of the Thamud. Iram, I don't see there. I mean, Iram is not really mentioned much in the Quran, except for the story of Sheba. Was it Sheba? I don't know. Whichever it was. I don't know where that was, yeah. But Ad and Thamud, yeah, they were leaders on the earth. Whoever's leading the earth is leader of the earth at that time and this time. Today, obviously, the sons of Israel, the Christians and the Jews, are on the top of the earth, leading mankind to hell. So, in a metaphorical way, yeah, it you can say that they were there. They were the leaders then, and these are the leaders now. But what difference does it make? They're all rejectors. I mean, the people of Ad and Thamud were rejectors. Who then Saleh came and warned them, and they were destroyed. So I'm warning these people; they will be destroyed. I mean, there's really no secret to this mechanism. God's method does not change. When absolute rejection is on the earth, He sends a messenger or a few messengers. Uh, and then they are rejected and they run around thinking that they're um, safe from the command of God or his plan, and then suddenly one day they are turned upside down and put in hell. So yeah, I mean, you can say that, but I don't understand why that's so critical. I mean, if to understand the context of the Quran, you really don't need to know that well. I mean, what's the big deal? I don't understand why we need to know that they were the leaders at that time, like these are the leaders at this time. Every generation has their leaders. I mean, that's not a question, yeah, you know it is. Except for the time when the messengers are the leaders. That's the exception. They're the righteous leaders. The rest are wicked and uh, devious satanic leaders. We are the righteous leaders on the earth, but nobody accepts us as leaders until God comes with his command, and then it's too late for most. Anyway, yeah, let's go to the next question. This is pretty awkward. The person cannot chat audio wise, and he can't. So the next question is, who is Michael mentioned alongside Gabriel in the Quran? Is he an angel or a different creation? No, he's just an angel. Michael is one of the highest angels, and Gabriel is the Holy Spirit, and they're both messengers of God. Uh, Gabriel is by far the highest messenger of God, no doubt about it. But he is the Holy Spirit as well. He blows life into all creation. All of us are blown life into by Gabriel with the command of God. He is the giver of life. Michael is one of the angels. We don't know what his authority is, but I'm pretty sure he has major authority over the happenings under the heavens and the earths, just like Gabriel and the other angels that we know of and don't know of. So, yeah. Why is he mentioned alongside Gabriel? Because he's important for us to know that there is not just one angel, there are several angels, and Michael is one of them. And God clearly states at that point that anyone who is enemy to God and his messengers and his angels and his messengers, God is enemy to the rejecter. So anyone who is an enemy to God and us, his messengers, any one of us, all of us, doesn't matter. God is an enemy to that entity, whoever that is. And thus the story goes. Yeah. Is that clear? So let's move on to the next question. I would like people to come here and ask me the questions instead of typing on private chats and chats. Yeah. All right. We have another question. All right. This time it's about Adam. So when Adam was created, was he entered into Firdaus with his spouse or into the Garden of Eden with his spouse? So, first of all, uh, where have you seen the Garden of Eden mentioned in the Quran? The answer I will tell you is nowhere. So, I don't know what this Garden of Eden is except what the Christians spread, and then the other fools follow them by following whatever they want to follow from their thoughts. So, the Garden of Eden is of no import. So yeah, he entered the garden when he was created. After all the stuff happened with the prostration and everything that created Satan, Iblis became Satan. Adam and his spouse was told to enter the garden. It doesn't say which garden, so you can't say it was Firdaus or it wasn't Firdaus. It doesn't matter. He was in the garden, not on earth. This is the um, falsehood or the false information spread that the garden is on the earth somewhere. No, it isn't. The garden that Adam and his spouse entered is up above this plane of existence that we're on. It's on a different plane, one of the six planes that is above this plane that we live on under this heaven. So, yeah, they entered that garden, whichever garden that was. It's not important whether it was Firdaus or not. What's important is that we were thrown out, all of us, and put down on the earth because Adam and his spouse screwed up. And this is our second chance, our second creation, our second life, which most of mankind is going to fail undoubtedly. So I think that explains it. Sure, yeah, just keep questioning, keep them flowing. I might get stagnated, yeah. This looks like a long question. It's been typing for a while, eh? So let's see. So the question is, when Satan said to God that he would sit and wait for God's servants, did he mean that he would only cause suffering to the believers in this world? No, not necessarily at all. And sit and wait on God's highway constant, Siratul Mustaqim. So he would sit there and he would push everyone else who tries to come to God. That's his job. And it's not like the ones who are following Satan aren't being caused harm and strife by Satan. They're all under duress, under attack from Satan and his forces, especially the believers. He cannot accept anyone entering the garden. He wants everyone to go with him to the hellfire, which most people are obliging, and they're going to the hellfire without a doubt. Today and forever have been and will be till the end. It's clearly written by God already. It says this preordainment. God says that He's going to fill hell with the demons and the men all together. At least 3 to 4 times is written in the Quran. So that's like a preordainment. Why did God say that? People will say, well, God's already judged that. So no, it's because you're going to choose to go to hell and He already knows it. Why does He know it? Because we did it the first time with Adam and his spouse, the example written in the Quran, that they were told not to take from one tree. They were told in the garden, do not take from this tree, do not taste from this tree. It doesn't say it's an apple tree, by the way, in the Quran. It just says it's a fruit tree. It's a tree. I mean, the Christians have said it's apple. I don't know. I can't say one way or the other. I can just say it's a fruit tree. And they were told one tree not to take from. And they took from that, falling to Satan after being told that Satan is the absolute enemy to them. So, I mean, what do you do with mankind? Nothing. There's no way mankind is going to learn. And they forget everything just from last week or yesterday, even, let alone thousands of years of to remember their last creation, which is explained in this book clearly, as well as the Torah and the Injil. So, yeah, it's not just the believers are going to cause suffering by Satan, and he can only cause the believers suffering with the will of God. Satan can't just do willy nilly whatever the hell he wants. He can't do that. There are limits put on him. You have to turn to Satan and to obey his commands, i.e., the commands that are against God and against the Quran and against the messengers, and then he has authority over you so that he can make you believe things that are lies and to take you into the darkness and keep you there till you die so that you go to hell with him. So I think that explains that. Okay, so the question here is, let me just put it on the chat here. So the question is, does that mean that Satan was not talking about the other servants of God? Which other servants of God? I don't understand. Other worlds and realms? What is this other worlds and realms? They- they- the only realm that is of import is the one we sit on today, and the demons, so-called jinns in the Quran, Arabic. The demons and the men are the only servants that are under attack by Satan. None of the others can be affected by Satan. And the other worlds and realms, there's no other worlds. Yeah, there's only one world which we live in, which is called dunya in Arabic. It is the life of the world, this world. And then the hereafter is the other life, which is in under the other heavens, not in this heaven. We must understand that the heaven and the earth is not what you've been taught. The heaven is a construction. It surrounds and encompasses the earth we live over, on, in this earth. It's not a ball, it ain't spinning. Yeah, the heaven is not what they tell you it is. It's a barrier that cannot be crossed by mankind. It cannot. There's no way. All that you've been shown are lies. They have not escaped the earth in any way, shape, or form. If they go far enough in any direction, they're going to be blocked by the heaven. And if they try and touch it, they will be fired upon and made into pulp. There's no way you can cross it without the authority of God, which these people do not have. That is for sure. Now, they've made you believe that you live on a spinning ball in the middle of nowhere, and you all fall for that, and that takes you away from the fundamental understanding of what is going on the earth. They want you to believe that you're going to go to the stars and you're going to live on the moon and Mars. I mean, what a bunch of lies. It is a delusion that only the most deluded can believe. I mean, when you're told that you're spinning on a ball that's going at 1,000 miles an hour or whatever at the equator, and you don't just fly off because of gravity, yeah, I got a bridge to sell you for that one. Yeah, it is total nonsense. The other heavens, there are seven. We are under the lowest heaven, the heaven of the world. There are six other heavens above us. The six other heavens have earths under them, just like we have. I don't know how many. They're there, and they have their own functioning, and people are living there. The angels, those that are dead, those that have gone to the garden, and who else? The Satan has only power over the satanic demons and the satanic men, who are the rejecting and hypocritical men and demons. He has no power over anything else at all. And what power he has been given to him by God. He cannot exceed that. He has no authority over me, for example. He knows it. Every Satan who knows he's a Satan knows that he has no authority over me. There's no way, no way, no chance in hell that they have any authority over me. They have power. They can kill me if God lets them. And then let's see how that ends once they accomplish that, if God lets them. The examples are in the book. They will not escape that act of killing God's messenger or messengers or prophets or any believer, actually. They're not going to get away with that. And the fact that somebody dies does not make the end of that guy. I mean, that's just the end of this transitory life that we live. The next life is where the actual reality will occur, and that's where the actual victory will be. The victory in this life is transitional. It's illusory, I would say. It's kind of a delusion because nobody can win here. We're all going to die. So yeah. Let's wait for the next question to pop up. Okay, let's see what the question is this time. Okay, would it be accurate to say that the lowest hell, which is reserved for the hypocrites, is a place of intense cold? No, absolutely not. It is absolutely inaccurate to say that because hell is fire, it's boiling in heat. There is no coolness there. So, yeah, that should answer that question. Next. Hell is fire. Fire burns. Demons are made from fire. Man was created from sulfur the first time. And sulfur eats fire, and fire eats sulfur. Okay, so this is a good one. Okay, the question is, would it be accurate to say that the seven sleepers of the cave are still alive today? First of all, who told you there are seven sleepers in the cave? You have no clue how many sleepers are there. Muhammad, when he was there, and the some of the sleepers, or the some of them who slept in the cave, came out, he was ordered, Muhammad was ordered, that do not discuss from them, in them, anyone about the numbers except what is apparent. So even Muhammad at that time did not know how many were left in the cave. But one thing is for sure, that they were sleepers in the cave when Muhammad was here, no doubt about it. He only knew the numbers that came out of the cave to write the Quran after 309 years of sleep in that cave, which is under the Aqsa Mosque in Jerusalem. So, who are left in there? Nobody knows except a few. I absolutely do not know. The Quran does not tell anyone. It tells people that they're going to be throwing like you, seven, eight, six, seventh their dog, eighth, ninth their dog, all this nonsense. No, we don't know how many sleepers were in the cave when Muhammad was here. Now, are there still left people in that cave? I don't know. It's possible for sure. Or they could have come out after Muhammad and be done with that, but I have no idea that. Or more could have gone in the cave. So I have no knowledge of that. I just know that they were sleepers in the cave, sleeping, or there, however, when Muhammad was here. So after that, I don't know what has happened. All right, next question. This is why, like, one way talk is pretty boring, yeah. So the question now is, why did the sleepers of the cave write down the Quran for Muhammad? Because Muhammad was not chosen to write it. That's why. And as you've been told, Muhammad was illiterate, right? He could not read or write a book before it. It's written in the Quran. So, yeah, he did not write that book. God chose the sleepers. Why? Because God chose them. That was their job, to write the Quran, while the Spirit dictated it in the night 10 nights that the angels and the spirit came down at the time of the Hajj the Great in Jerusalem. That is where the Quran was written down. And the sleepers, who were how many ever they were, they came out and they were brought to write that Quran in those 10 nights. And it's divided almost exactly in 10 portions that are three juz. There are 30 juz, I believe, right? And there were three juz every night in those 10 nights in Ramadan, that month of Ramadan, when Muhammad and the believers uh, came to perform the Hajj, which is called the Hajj the Great in the Quran in chapter 9. I mean, why is a question that why not? Same as why. Yeah? And it wasn't for Muhammad that they wrote it down. They did it for God, yeah? I mean, God commanded them and put that task in front of them. So the question is, can we translate the word ummi as Gentile? Nope, absolutely not. The word ummi means illiterate, period. Now you can um, um, understand that word to mean different kind of illiteracy. It could be illiteracy is not being able to read, illiteracy is not being able to write, and illiteracy is not being able to understand. So, which illiteracy is the Quran talking about? And the main illiteracy is not knowing the book and the wisdom, which is the Quran, Torah, and the Injil. They are the book and wisdom and law from God. So, to be illiterate in the context of the learning of God is this book and wisdom. To be illiterate in other ways are whatever you don't know. You don't know how to write a poem, so you're illiterate for writing poems. Or you don't know how to construct a house, so you're illiterate in construction of houses. I mean, you can go on and on for that, but Gentile, not a chance. This word does not mean Gentile. All right, next question. So, next question. So, in the Quran, when it is said that it is Gabriel who has revealed this Quran upon your heart, whose heart is being referenced? The first was Muhammad and every messenger after that, including me today. It is revealed by Gabriel over my heart, to my warning all of you for what is coming to you if you don't believe and right your ways. It's the same thing. And it's Gabriel who did the revelations for all the messengers before as well. It is Gabriel, the Holy Spirit, who strengthened Jesus. And with that strength, Jesus gave life the dead, cured the blind and the lepers and those with sickness. So, yeah, I don't understand why that's a big deal for people. Yeah. And Gabriel also inspires to the believers, obviously. He strengthens the hearts of the believers. He strengthens the believers as well with the will of God. The believers, not the Muslims. There's a big difference between Muslims and believers. So the question is, so the revelation came upon Muhammad and the sleepers wrote it down? No, no. The Quran inspires Muhammad, and what happened before the Quran came, Gabriel inspired to him. It's not like the Quran was there when Muhammad was running around. He was being inspired by God via the Spirit to do what he did for God. The battles, the fights, what he was told to do to get out of his home, to leave his home, all that stuff. He was inspired to do that. The Quran wasn't there. I mean, if you think the Quran was here when Muhammad arrived on the earth, before the whole story ended, then you are mistaken. The Quran came down after everything was finished, after Muhammad took control of Makkah and Jerusalem. And when the Hajj occurred, that is the end of the story. That's why the Quran is talking about what has happened and what is happening and what will happen from that point onwards and before. The Quran wasn't there when Muhammad was running around doing what he was doing. The Spirit was still inspiring to him. The Spirit, he saw the Spirit. Yeah. It says twice he saw the Spirit, another time, twice, two examples are written in the Quran that he saw the Spirit. So now the Quran is telling you he saw the Spirit because it already happened. And now the Quran is coming down. At that time, the sleepers wrote it. They didn't run around with Muhammad writing it down like they tell you about people were sitting there writing whenever the inspiration came. That's nonsense. Complete nonsense. The Quran came down when everything was finished. And then it told, in if you look at chapter 9, now get out. They told all the partnering, which were the Christians and the Jews, to get out now. You have 4 months to get out. God's written in the Quran that that if we wanted to punish them, they would have. He had, but he wrote exile for them, right? God said we would punish them in the life of the world, but he wrote exile to them. So that is the point when everything was settled and Muhammad now is in charge with the believers who are with him. The command has come, the Quran is being written, and they're being told you have 4 months to get out. If we find you in our land, we're going to kill you now. Do you understand? That's what happened at the time of the Quran coming down. That's why all the fighting happened after that because they didn't want to leave. Those that didn't want to leave, they were found and killed at that time in the land that belonged to the believers, that God wrote at that time back to the believers, whatever that land was. For sure, it was Jerusalem, land, the Holy Land, as well as Makkah. Absolutely. And now everybody's trying to kill everyone else because that's written. No, no, no. That happened then. When the command comes again, God will tell the believers to do what he wants to tell them to do at that time. It doesn't have to be the same thing. What happened at the time of Moses? The Pharaoh was drowned. What happened with Noah? The whole earth was drowned. And the others, it's not exactly the same way the things are going to happen at every time, but the method is always the same. The messenger comes, the people reject him, they mock him, they decry him, they denigrate him, they call him crazy, they call him a magician, and in the end they're destroyed. Whether they kill him or he dies before that happens or he doesn't has no meaning. Once the messenger is here and he's delivered the message, his life or death has no meaning anymore, like mine. The message has been delivered. Whether you believe it or not, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, for the rejectors, they will be destroyed. And the next cycle will start again till the last cycle. That's how it works. Okay, let's see the next question as it arrives. Okay, so here comes the next one. So, if the Quran was revealed by Gabriel to Muhammad, is this a metaphorical way of saying that the understanding of the Quran was given to him by Gabriel? I mean, it's not just a metaphorical way, it's the absolute way. It's Gabriel who inspires the Quran and clarifies the Quran with the will of God to Muhammad. And if God wants, he does it himself. And if he wants the angels to do it, they do it. And if he wants man to do it, he'll do a man to come and explain something to Muhammad that he doesn't understand, but the man will probably not even know what he's doing. So, yeah, but primarily, absolutely, it is Gabriel who inspires the book and wisdom to the messenger. It's not just Muhammad. I don't know why you have to focus just on Muhammad. The Quran sure is Muhammad, but it's not just Muhammad is not the only man who was ever inspired the book and wisdom. Noah was inspired, Abraham was inspired, Jacob was inspired, Joseph was inspired, Moses, Jesus, Mary, all these were inspired the book and the wisdom and the law from Moses onwards. From Moses down to me, we have been inspired the same book, the same wisdom, and the same law that came to Moses, which is repeated by Jesus in the Bible, which has been emasculated, and which is repeated in the Quran, the same exact law. There is no Sharia law that they talk about. This is all nonsense. There is only one law, the law of God given to Moses, which is encapsulated in the Torah, the original, hidden, not known to us today, clearly, in the Injil, which has been emasculated, which has been tampered with, and the Quran, which cannot be changed. So now, to destroy the meaning of the book, they have surrounded it with absolute lies attributed to Muhammad, put in the mouth of Muhammad when he's dead, and he can't come and defend it except he sends us. God sends us to defend Muhammad's words with the Quran, the same message that came to every messenger after Moses. It's exactly the same book, wisdom, and law. The information obviously is added. I mean, there is information in the Bible that wasn't in the Torah. There's information in the Quran that is not in the Injil. But that doesn't change the fundamental fact that it is the book, the wisdom, and the law that is delivered to every messenger after Moses, including me. This is kind of boring, yeah? I mean, I just have to wait for people asking questions. I'd rather have someone ask me so that it can be a fluid conversation instead of this hiccupy situation that we're in. Kind of boring, if you ask me. Okay. Let's see. The question is, what is the criteria within the Quran for a person to be able to be inspired with the understanding of the Quran by Gabriel? You have to be uh, of those who believe. But I mean, it's not that the Spirit cannot inspire to those who are even rejectors. I mean, if a person is in rejection and he wants to sincerely return to God, God will inspire him directly or through Gabriel or through his messenger or through what's around us. I mean, it's not just Gabriel who inspires, right? I mean, we inspire to each other. What is inspiration, first of all? Inspiration is a method of communication which makes you think one thing or the other or to understand something. It can be done with images, it can be done with words, it can be done with unseen inspiration into your heart, into your chest, into your brain. However, we are inspired by people speaking to us. We are inspired by how people move in front of us. facial expressions. I mean, there's so much methodology for inspiration or words. The Quran is an inspiration. So when you say that what criteria, it's God decides the criteria of who's going to be inspired. Now, the deep guidance of the Quran will only come to those who are of those who believe. And to be of those who believe, you have to read the last couple of signs of chapter 2. And let's just bring it up actually. Let's add that here and let's read that just to understand what the Quran says about the believers, or those who believe, actually, not the believers. So let's bring it up here. Anyway, so it's chapter 2, the last two signs of chapter 2. So let's go through this. So these two, actually, the second last is the one which is the actual absolute belief of those who believe, not Muslims. You have to be a Muslim. There's no way you can be of those who believe if you're not a Muslim. And a Muslim is one who submits, accepts one God, no God except that one God named by any name that you can figure out, which is good for God, and partners no one with him, holds no one equal to God. That is a Muslim. There's no other criteria for Muslim. You don't have to believe the Quran to be a Muslim. You don't have to believe Muhammad to be a Muslim. You don't have to believe me to be a Muslim. If you reject any of us, then you become a kafir. You don't remain a Muslim. Yeah. So, but to be a Muslim, you just have to accept that one unseen God. So let's look at this. This is the faith of those who believe, the ones who are going to become believers, possibly. Not all of those who believe become believers. To become a believer, you have to follow this book to a level God accepts from you to become a believer. You can't follow all of it. The only one I know who can follow all of it is Jesus. No one else from mankind. The rest of us make mistakes. We cannot understand every little detail in this book. So let's just go through this sign, and I will. Let's see. Just let's look at the Arabic. I'll just translate the Arabic. So believes the messenger with what's sent down to him from his Lord and the believers. So all the believers have to believe this, obviously. To become a believer, you must believe all of this. That is going to come later. So let's just analyze this statement. The messenger believes what's sent down to him. What is sent down to him? The Quran, in this context, obviously. Before it was Injil, that's also the same thing. And the Torah, the same thing. So if it's Jesus, what does he believe with? The Torah and the Injil. When he came down, he had both of them. What is sent down to Muhammad? The Quran. So either any of them you believe, you are the messenger from his Lord and the believer. So now all or each believes or covenants with God. The belief is a covenant, yeah. Faith is a covenant, a promise. So Amanu is covenant. Amanu is belief, same thing. Comes from the security, securers, covenants, belief, faith, whatever you want to call it. So each covenants with the God first. First is the God and his angels. Number two, his angels. And this sequence is in priority of how you must believe to become of those who believe. And then his books, not book, his books, his writings, and his messengers. The last line is us, the man messengers. The angels are the angel messengers. This messenger here, his messengers, is referring to the messengers and prophets from mankind. And messengers here, not prophets, messengers specifically. Not all prophets necessarily are messengers, and not all messengers are necessary prophets. Some of them are both messengers and prophets, like Moses, Jesus, and Muhammad. All three of them are prophets and messengers. I am a messenger of God. And then not we separate between anyone from his messenger. So not this, they say this distinction, the word faraq is separation, to separate, not to distinguish. It's to separate between. Distinguishing is that you can't make difference between one and the other. Are you kidding? Jesus is different than Muhammad. He's distinguished different than Muhammad, higher than Muhammad. Abraham, the same thing. It's higher than Muhammad. Moses, higher than Muhammad. Mary, higher than Muhammad. Adam, higher than Muhammad. Noah, higher than Muhammad, and me, obviously. So we don't distinguish between any one from his messengers, not one. So now, when you say that you to be Muslim, you have to believe God and Muhammad, you've already separated all the messengers from Muhammad, and you're going to go to hell. There is no separation between God and his messengers. You cannot. Anyone who separates between God and his messengers is going to hell, or between any one of his messengers is going to go to hell. What you don't know doesn't matter. It's what you know that matters. And they say, all of us, we listen and we obey. All of us say the same thing. Okay? The messenger and the believers, all. We listen and we obey. Surely forgive us, our Lord. And to you the end. This is faith. This is what faith is all about. From there, now you have to read the Quran and understand what it's telling you to do and follow it. It ain't easy. It ain't going to come overnight. It's never going to come overnight. Yeah. So I think that explains that, I hope. Okay, one more question, then we're out of here. We've got another question. I guess we're done for today. So I'll maybe see you guys next time. Peace.